Recently, I asked a question that only few gamers in the history have ever gone so far as to even. I asked, can you beat Spyro the Dragon using only a Twitch chat? That's right, the chat types in the inputs. No controller, just up, left, down, right, cross, square, triangle, circle, R1, R2, all typed in the Twitch chat with the shitty delay from the website. Can they do it? Can they get through the game, string together the inputs in order to make the charge glides, the supercharges, the different flying mechanics and flames and not get fucked over? Well, I decided to put that question to the test. And what better time to test this than during my recent 4-day-long subathon non-stop live stream where after I got done playing games for the day, I would go to bed, but my Twitch chat would go to work. And go to work they did. Well, sort of. There were some problems that needed to be addressed from the get-go. Well, for one, what's to stop people from spamming the pause button in my chat and then exiting the game, negating all of our progress, or even just spamming the button and getting us stuck in the menu the whole time, disabling us from effectively moving anywhere? For this reason, I decided to turn off the start and select buttons so that my Twitch chat couldn't press them no matter how hard they tried. However, this introduced a new set of problems. Namely, what are we going to do about the game over screen? I mean, that's the only screen in the game that requires a start press to advance, and we can't press that. Furthermore, this chat is going to be dying a lot, so they're probably going to be running into that problem quite a bit. So what I did was I activated an unlimited lives cheat code to get around this. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, cheating, this is an illegitimate playthrough, but it's really the only way to keep this playthrough on the rails and have it be somewhat, playable. And in this same spirit, I've also activated automatic save states every 10 seconds, so that way if there's a game crash or something catastrophic happens, we'll always be able to revert and continue our progress. And with that, we're pretty much good to go. We're off to the races. I mean, let's see how good this Twitch chat can play yeah, this is going to be a long playthrough, I think. But hey, that's fine. We got 4 whole 8-hour plus sessions at our disposal here. I mean, if there's one thing we have on our side, it's time. So let's see if this chat can make the most of it. Let's talk day 1, or should I say night 1. I was just getting ready for bed, but I could barely contain my excitement. The hype was palpable. I had never attempted something like this on my channel, and I found myself constantly looking at my phone, laughing at the chat as they blundered their way through Dark Hollow and Stonehill. Remember, they had to go through the exit level vortex because they couldn't just pause and exit the level. So by the time they made it to Town Square, I found myself able to doze off, and they were making pretty solid headway. They were getting through each level, collecting the required dragons to get out of Artisans, and they were actually able, by the time I woke up, to get out of Artisans, and honestly, I was pretty proud of them. Great job, chat. But on day 2, things would take a turn. We would get out of the first level of Peacekeepers, Dry Canyon, with relatively low issues, but once we entered that second level, Cliff Town, we got hard stuck. And I'm not talking about for an hour or two. I mean, we spent the entirety of the second night in Clifftown and the majority of the third day as well. Why is that, you might ask? Well, at this point in the game, we're starting to require more difficult platforming in order to make it to the actual exit level vortex. Clifftown notoriously has a large cityscape section that you have to climb up like a ladder, sort of, in order to reach that exit level vortex. So what are you going to do when you have a chat that can't really agree on anything? Well, it was at this point that we started to see some chatters weed themselves out from the rest and really show a level of dedication that other more stoned, chillin', sleepy people weren't really showing. In fact, these couple of chatters by the name of Fantasies and Pete Guy were the ones that were really starting to hold the team on their back, and we'll see their names a little bit later. But for now, day 2 came to a close with little progress made in Clifftown, and day 3 I decided to cut my chat a bone and let them keep playing and see if they can make it to the end of Peacekeepers while I continue to do my on-stream little grinding and sub-goaling and things like that. Well, as day 3 continued on, they actually did make it out of Clifftown, and we were all there to celebrate, and it was a very exciting moment. I mean, imagine being stuck in one level in this game for 10, 15 plus hours. Couldn't be me. Well, anyways, we made it onto day 4, and on this final day, they were hardly to the end of Ice Cavern. I'm starting to see here that they're not going to be able to finish this game before I'm done with my subathon. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. That's right. We're going to cheat. I decided to take them from the end of Peacekeepers and manually move them all the way to the end of the final homeworld, Nasty Nork. Put them at the beginning of that level, and on the 4th day, we're going to see if they can complete the gauntlet that is chasing Nasty Nork to the end and beating the game. Can they do it? Well, let's take a look. Their first obstacle to overcome were the 2 thieves holding the keys to get to Nasty Nork himself. Now these thieves run away from you at a pretty brisk speed, and the truth is that these Twitch chatters do not have the reaction time to be able to actually press square and turn quickly enough to catch them. So what can we do instead? Well, by this time, we learned about something called macros, and while this can be considered cheating again, we decided to allow people like Pete and Fantasies to create their own macros so that a 10-second string of inputs from the beginning of the level can be done to collect both of the thieves. And hats off to both of them. They were able to actually create such a thing just by playing around with the inputs and figuring out what would work and what wouldn't work. So, by simply taking a death and respawning to reset Spyro's position, you could then type a command that would easily dispose of the 2 thieves with swiftness and aggression. But there was still the entire Nasty Chase. And perhaps in an alternate timeline, more macros could have been created to easily bypass this ending Nasty Nork section. But players like Pete and Fantasies and others who were helping out started to get tired. They couldn't hold the team on their back forever, and time was running out. I was there with Sarah on the morning of the 4th day. After it was all said and done, we saw that they couldn't make another macro or even get past the Nasty Chase. I know. It's sad to see that the chat couldn't make it happen, and it makes you really wonder if there was more time. Could it have been done? Could it have maybe had some supercharges or even get through the entire game naturally? Well, you know I would never clickbait you guys, and I plan to answer the question in the title. Can you beat this game? And even though my testing came up short, I did some research and found out actually that I'm not the first one to attempt this Twitch Plays Spyro challenge. There's a Twitch channel called Twitch Plays Speedruns that does all these same types of challenges with many games, and Spyro being one of them. Well, wouldn't you know, they were able to beat the game. And although it did take them longer, it was through the generous help of chatters like Fantasies in my chat, like Pete Guy. Some of these people were the ones, like many more in Twitch Plays Speedruns chat, that were able to make the macros and make the actual playthrough happen. Now, call it cheating, call it whatever you want, but I call that dedication and love for the game, that you would be able to take the worst input delay, the most awkward type of input structure, and use the hive mind of a Twitch chat, of an internet subculture to really make history in a video game. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it just goes to show at the end of the day that if you want something hard enough and you get enough people together, you will make that happen. But in 4 days, probably not. Hey, my name's Dayoman. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Leave a comment letting me know if you want to hear more about the Twitch Plays Speedrun saga of Spyro. But until then, stay cute, enjoy playing this amazing series, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.
Diddle da diddle diddles diddle diddles da diddle diddles diddle diddles da diddle diddles diddle diddles da diddle diddle da diddle diddles diddle diddles 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 da diddle diddles diddle da diddle diddles diddle diddles 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 da diddle diddles